When we legalize marijuana, we're sending the signal to young people that marijuana is just like a beer. It's not. It's not. If we want to treat marijuana as a medicine, fine. Then regulate it as a medicine. But to just say to kids, this is no big deal, is misleading them. It's dangerous.
The times, they are indeed a-changing when it comes to America and marijuana. More medicinal use across the board. Life has never been higher in Colorado. And perhaps the most ground-shaking slice of it all would be Republicans going to the polls next year and electing a candidate who isn't all that concerned with the legal merits of Mary Jane. This and much more going up in smoke. We welcome Mediaite contributing columnist, also co-host of the Daily Wrap, seen weeknights here on Newsmax at 7 p.m., Joe Concha. Joe, let's get right to it here. It would seem as if that Carly Fiorina might just be speaking for some members of the Republican Party who think maybe it's time for us to get a little lax on marijuana, though Chris Christie would certainly not agree at all in that. He wants to just hammer down. It seems like there's a change here.
Yeah, it's shifting, certainly. Public attitude is certainly shifting towards marijuana. From a media perspective, I can tell you that almost all stories are overwhelmingly pro-pot. It seems to be going that way. It feels a lot like gay marriage, actually, in terms of the public perception around it and the momentum behind it going in that direction. So, you know, Fiorina certainly not really polling all that high, but she certainly is getting a lot of media attention. She does do a lot of interviews. This is true. And it will be interesting to see where some of the higher tier candidates come down on this. For me personally, you know, I'm not going to be hypocritical. You know, I've done marijuana before. Granted, I haven't done it this century, but, you know, back in college, that sort of thing. Because I don't want to seem like a hypocrite. And somebody's going to come out on Facebook and say, hey, Conch, remember that time back in '94? All right, so whatever. So I can count on one hand where I've done it. But this I know. When I have done it, I'd become just completely worthless. I didn't have any motivation to do anything except eat and watch Captain Kangaroo. And I just don't know if you legalize that, given where we are as a country right now and our productivity, that's going to be a positive thing for America. So I'm all over the map on this. I know I should be definitive on shows like this, like it should be this, it should be that. I think legally for medical purposes, my wife's an ER doctor, absolutely. Particularly for cancer patients, those in pain, yes. Well, when you make it a recreational drug and legal, I don't know, Ed. I just don't know.
I think you were very definitive on basically pointing out that Captain Kangaroo was your television show of choice when you had it, which in itself is something that we're going to discuss. That's another an issue altogether. But let's get right down to it, and I agree with you here, because there was a brilliant story on Dateline NBC over the weekend that talked about the use of Charlotte's Web for medicinal purposes, the kids that they're actually making better, helping epilepsy, helping so many different conditions. Let's be real frank here. There are medicinal uses for marijuana that we need to look at, and I think we need to be really seriously considering being available for everybody in every 50 state. No matter how you feel about marijuana, most of it has non-TLC. A lot of it doesn't have that ingredient in it. If it helps people get better, Joe, there's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. Oh, and you should look this up in Durango, Colorado. There's a 740-acre stoners camp that is opening on July 1st. You go out there and basically people just get high for a week and do basically nothing but look at the sky and the mountains. So from a revenue standpoint in business, and we know all about the pot business in Colorado, certainly some things to talk about around that too, as far as can it help a local economy. So it's like gambling, you know, yes, maybe it could, but what are the side effects? What are the negative aspects? What if people start driving while high, while texting, while drunk? Oh boy, then I don't want to be anywhere near a car. So this is certainly something to debate, but I haven't come down on a definitive side as far as the recreational side yet, but the media certainly has, Ed, that's for sure. And they're saying thumbs up, go for it, recreational or medical.
All right, media side, we got about a minute left. Let's go ahead and hit two things real quick. Why hasn't TLC canceled the Duggars, 19 kids and counting, except for the fact that they want to milk this for as much money as they possibly can, as long as they can?
Money. It's a big money maker for TLC, and they have a built-in storyline now. And if they went ahead with it, a lot of people would watch. As we saw with Megyn Kelly's interview last week, that did gangbusters as far as ratings. So keep these guys on the air. They're a train wreck. They're almost horrifying, but it will rate.
Even though you think that there's the outside possibility here that after what was said, that they could actually salvage bringing it back, because in those initial interviews on Fox, I mean, we're talking about child molestation here, Joe.
I know, I know. If I'm running that network, that show gets cut tomorrow. I'm just saying that they may look at the ratings and the potential for more of it and say, screw the moral end, ironically, and actually go ahead with keeping the show on the air. Just, it's revolting, actually, but it may happen.
All right, 30 seconds left in The Simpsons season 27 premiere. Homer and Marge will separate. I got to tell you, I haven't watched The Simpsons in years. I'm not that upset about it. Should we be, as a nation, crushed, Joe?
Well, after 27 years, you run out of plot lines, right? But they're going to kill Bart Simpson as well. Sideshow Bob will kill Bart Simpson. So a lot going on this season. I guess they felt they had to mix it up a little bit. And I have a feeling, though, that eventually Homer and Marge will get back together. They have had troubles before, and they have overcome them. So fear not, my
Look,
friend,
they
fear not.
killed Brian on Family Guy, and they brought him back. That was the most important thing in life, so they can do just about anything. The second most important thing in life,
Bobby.
There you go. The Daily Wrap, weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Newsmax with Joe Concha. Joe, thanks for joining us. Catch you again real soon. The Hardline will continue.